Okay, hi everyone, SmithyQ, SmithyQ.com, and I'm finally back, another video. It's been a while. You can see from my slightly disheveled state that I'm not at my best. I had my wisdom teeth pulled just like about a day ago. I don't even know, and I'm still feeling the effects, but I feel well enough to talk at least a little bit. And this is a nice one because it's a nice win in the King's Indian, which, as we know, is an opening I'm trying to learn. I haven't updated my King's Indian in a little bit, and if I can play games like this, I think things are going pretty well. This is a pretty nice victory. I mean, my opponent doesn't play the most critical moves, but I'm gonna take it. How about that? So let's jump right into it. So we got the King's Indian here, and sorry, I gotta fix it. I'm formatting here. Okay, excellent. So, we got the King's Indian, I got the D6. My opponent plays the popular H3 system, which I'll be completely honest, despite all my studying of the King's Indian, I haven't actually looked at this variation yet, though I played it a few times against it, and, with usually not great results. One of the ideas, it looks like an innocuous move. Why the heck is this so popular? And one of the ideas is, well, white is generally going to try and play an early g4, and he's just trying to restrict black on the king side. Because if black can't get his normal counterplay, then his normal breaks, then I just have less space, and then I'm just going to be worse. Alternatively, white could also use g4 not just to stop black's play, but to actually launch his own attack. With these pawns eventually. So it's a really, it's an interesting system. It deserves a lot more study on my part, and I'll get to it eventually. So I just played normal, right? E5, he plays D5, and then I treat this as if it were the Petrosian system, where I bring the knight out to A6. Then here, I rushed a little bit. You can see I played this move in like half a second. I should have played H6 to take the bishop away first. Just because right now, he has the option of playing B4. If the bishop weren't here, so if we back up, if he did, a normal move, right, and then I bring in c5, he can't play b4 right away because the pawn falls. I'm hitting it twice. With the bishop here, right, the knight's pinned, and so he could just play b4 and gain a tempo. Fortunately, he doesn't do that. He plays this knight d2, defending the pawn. I then kick the bishop back. He goes to e3. Then I play a5, stopping b4. And so things are okay. It does appear as if my opponent is going to, just by the look of it, by playing the knight d2, he's probably going to want to play something with g4 and possibly f3, block things on the king side. And then if he's going to block things on the king side, he's probably going to castle queen side. And this is one thing I've noticed, is that many white players, they don't like the classical lines, the lines I've actually studied, because white comes under attack. They much prefer lines in which white castles queenside, and white tries to attack. Who doesn't like attacking? And so this is one reason my opponent might not have played b4 here, is because he intended to castle queenside and b4 as a weakness. Anyway, h6, he brings the guy back, a5, that's right. He then plays b3, okay, the queen side's pretty okay. So I start expanding on the king side. So we got knight h5, he plays g3, so I can't jump into f4. Okay. f5, take. And this leads to an interesting moment. I want to say I fully planned this sacrifice out, which would be a lie. Did I fully miss it? Maybe. This is something I've done successfully in the past. The right move, the best move, would be to play e4 here. Because this immediately opens the bishop up. Oh, that looks pretty good. The knight is hanging. We've also got some knight d3 action, and then I can take back here at another point. And things are okay. Instead, I took with the bishop, allowing g4, which looks like I've just lost a piece. Yes. However, after e4, again, just like before, I'm attacking his knight. In the game, he was really nice to me. He took my knight, and then I took his knight, and then we reached a position like this, in which I've got all my attack, but I'm not down a piece. I'm only down a pawn. That's pretty nice. There's a good possibility my opponent simply didn't. He missed that. He blitzed his move out too quickly. What would have happened? What's a better move? Let's look at rook c1. So he gets the rook off the diagonal. He's defending his knight, and things are okay. Or are they? After something like queen h5, let's say, you know, take. We have a very interesting position. What's going to happen? We got knight d3 coming. With check, that's going to be pretty good. We can bring the rooks over. We can start pushing these pawns, maybe. That looks pretty good. This bishop, again, is beautiful. Long diagonal. This bishop, the queen, is active. We got some pinning action here. He's never going to be able to castle. Or castling kingside doesn't make... He can't castle queenside. The center is opening up. Black has good compensation for the piece here. It wasn't the most planned sacrifice in the world, but I got good comp, and in a blitz game, have at it. Even in a regular game, it's you gotta like Black's chances. I mean, considering you're down a piece, right? Instead, of course, he took the knight. I took. He moved the rook. I moved back. We'll do one more move. He takes the pawn. And so, okay, I'm down a pawn, but who cares? I was willing to be down a piece, right? Being down a piece wasn't that bad. Being down a pawn, this is nothing. And we can see how White's pieces are terrible. Okay, he's got one good bishop, excellent. His rook's all right, but none of his pieces are on open files. His bishop hasn't moved. His king and queen are ugly, right? Look at this knight. It wants to jump in. This pawn is probably better than most of White's pieces. And if I can ever move that pawn, this fully opens up this. Again, we got the ideas of bringing the queen and the rooks over, and Black has a fantastic initiative. And like, how can you not like a position like this? All out. I rush things a little bit. Again, I can probably just blame my the dental surgery for all my bad moves, but all my good moves are, of course, mine. No. Again, simply improving my position before jumping in. And so, I actually mentioned this in my previous videos, that the two-step thought process. Is there a tactic? If yes, do it. If not, improve your position. Right here, there's no immediate win, there's no immediate breakthrough. So it makes perfect sense to bring my last pieces into the game, and then look to jump in and do something. Instead, can I get rid of the arrows? There we go. I jump in with knight d3, take. Like, we can see why, though. Now the e-file is completely opened. That's my idea. And queen h4 and rook e8 are still going to be coming. This bishop has a bit more room now. On the downside is that it does give him... Sorry, let me back up. With this pawn here, it's restricting these two squares, so we can never place a knight or a bishop here. So after this little sequence, this gives him a chance to untangle. You know, something like so. That's actually exactly what he did. He ended up playing knight b3. I bring my queen out. And then he'd be like, okay, so maybe I should explain this more. And so he's attacking my bishop. I didn't see at the time, I could have perhaps played bishop to b2 with Tempe. Because then, after he moves, I could have moved the bishop right back. Or then played queen f6. But, again, time is so important in these types of positions. Right? I don't so much care about the material, I care about the time. And so, if we just back up, if we look at this, he's going to spend 2 moves moving his knight, and then the knight just disappears. And true, I don't have my good bishop anymore, but now I have a beautifully centralized queen, which he can't do anything about, and I've got the rook to e8 coming. And all my pieces are active, and he's in huge trouble. Also, I could probably win back my pawn at any point, just by taking this. But there's no rush to win back the pawn, because the only potential counterplay he might have, maybe, is, you know, rook g1 facing my king. And as long as the pawn's there, well, you know, he can't look at my king. He's looking at his own pawn. Okay, he can push the pawn. He can't actually attack me. Well, I can attack him. So I'm not worried at all. Not worried at all. Maybe I should have been, but I'm not worried at all. Whoops. Oh, spoiler alert, that's how the game ends. So here we go. He brings his queen out. Rook slides over. fully active, and then he takes here. And I'm not going to lie, at first I'm thinking, okay, no worries, I don't care about pawns, right? It's all about the attack. I have to have a breakthrough. And then I kind of realized, oh wait, Queen H7's mate. So I better do something to protect that. Can I protect that? Oh, okay, good. I have Rook E7. Okay. Darn it! My inability to do normal things is greatly restricted. You don't realize, how debilitating, various mouth pain is until you experience it. We all know toothaches suck, but you don't really know it until, you know it. Anyway, Rook G1. And you can see he's trying to attack, but what's he doing? What's his follow-up? What can he do? And the short answer is nothing. There is no attack here. What can I do? And so here, I guess, maybe some of that tactics training is paying off. Yay, woodpecker method. Because the following idea simply jumped out to me immediately. But at the same time, there's only so much that we can do here in this position. That is, I want to be able to move this bishop somewhere, because that'll let my rook maybe come in, cash in on f2. No really good square for the bishop. I'm like, do I want to retreat? That looks ugly. It'd be on this diagonal I want to go. But the pawn's in the way. Let's move the pawn. And so, pawn comes in with check. He can't take with the bishop. The bishop is pinned. If he doesn't take it, he loses the rook. So, of course, he takes to the king. Queen b2. And now see how by moving the pawn, the bishop is completely wide open. And if the king moves to the back rank, say here, that's I can put it on the board, I guess. He loses the rook because of the pin, so that's not very good. So the only move would, and he can't block because that loses because of, he loses it. So he has to move the king back. And then the idea, again, that I saw immediately, and I spent a little bit of time just making sure it worked, bishop to d3. So we just back up. We can see from this position, by sacrificing the pawn, my pieces start coming to life. They jump in. Boom, boom, boom. And so now the threat is mate. Or to play bishop, boom, and then take... Okay, so, yeah. Move the king away, and then I could... actually, that doesn't work. Alright, so the real threat is mate. He blocks it. But then what's the next idea? What's the follow-up? Maybe I spoiled it. Whoops. Rook takes f2. Last piece into the attack. He takes. No, he doesn't. He sacrifices his queen. Again, if he doesn't do this, what else can he even do? Taking doesn't work because after simply check doesn't, he takes back, that's mate. Also, why isn't this working? Also possible would be simply, just bishop is mate, right? Boom. Right, so the disaster there. So if the bishop were to move, my rook now controls, what's the square? E2. More times than he defends it. If you imagine those arrows made sense. And something, like, this doesn't work because I can also go on this side. That's mate. So not very good. So he sacrifices the queen. Because we can see what this does is it forces my rook to go away. So now when he takes, there's no immediate mate on e2 or c2. The problem is, after queen takes f2, I'm simply up a piece, and his king is still terrible. It's really hard to untangle. And my opponent was kind of nice here, in that he resigned. There's a good chance, you can see on the time here, I've only got 22 seconds left to his minute. There's no immediate win. There's no way I can checkmate or immediately increase my material edge. And this isn't the easiest endgame to convert, on 22 seconds at least. So there's a good chance I could have, lost on time. Especially, the way I play. Right? Alright? But, he resigned because he had enough, and that's... Yes! Right? And so playing... when I play games like this, full of these thematic maneuvers, I'm starting to think like I'm playing like a real King's Indian player. None of these moves... Okay, alright, so I should have played, maybe I should have played h6 first. Okay, I just moved too fast. I'll remember for next time. But, just f5. Even this, kind of inadvertent piece sacrifice, which I have done before in a similar situation. everything was thematic. And the tactics are jumping out to me, which is fantastic. My rating actually hasn't really increased, though, despite setting all my tactics. It's only been a week, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I got high hopes. So I hope you enjoyed this little attack. I've got another video coming out today. I don't know why I'm gonna make all these videos when I can, barely talk, but I feel like doing some chess after not being able to do anything for 3 days. So I'll do that. Anyway, so if you enjoyed that, let me know, like, subscribe, all that. That's always great. Hopefully my King's Indian progress just keeps getting better and better. But yeah, that's it for now. So again, SmithyQ, SmithyQ.com. Check out my blog if you want. Love talking about chess. Clearly, I'm doing it. Oh gosh. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.